Welcome to Techstination. Joining us is Kyndra LaCoco with Google's Central Accessibility Team. Thank you for joining us, Kyndra.
Good morning, Fred. Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to talk about accessibility today. This is really something that I am incredibly passionate about, both personally and professionally, and just such an important topic. So thank you for having me.
Well, tell us a little bit, first of all, about your background and about this team that Google has.
Absolutely. So I'm on the, like you said, Central Accessibility Team, and we really just work to make products better. And that's really what accessibility is. It's just about building better products that can benefit everyone and not just people with disabilities. And I'm going to give you an example for that. Let's say you're in a conference or a meeting and you're stuck way in the back, or someone's talking next to you or coming in and out of the door. It can get quite noisy, and sometimes you can't hear the speaker. So we really wanted to make that experience better for everyone. And we just recently launched live automatic captions right within Google Slides. So now, as a speaker is talking, captions will actually appear right on the slides and display for the audience. So now the audience can follow along with what the speaker is saying. And I think that that's a great example of something that not only helps me, who, I often do get stuck in the back, but also for the more than 460 million people in the world who are deaf or hard of hearing themselves.
So people should think of that as sort of like closed captions for presentations, that kind of thing?
Absolutely, and I think one of the key there is that it's live closed captions. So as the speaker speaking, captions will display exactly what the speaker is saying. So very exciting.
That's really amazing. And how much latency is there when a person is speaking? Because you're going out to the internet, I assume, to the cloud.
There's very little latency. In fact, I actually used it the day it came out for a meeting myself, and it was just absolutely amazing. We had a few people who also had various, maybe English wasn't their first language, or someone had a cold actually that day, and so it was just a really good example of different use cases and for such a wide range of people. But I also think maybe another fan favorite here is Google Home, right? I know I use my Google Home for turning on lights or adjusting my thermostat or telling me the next step in a recipe as I'm sort of up to my elbows in chicken. But for people like my mom, who is actually a wheelchair user herself, she recently had a very unfortunate fall, and she wasn't next to her phone, and my dad wasn't home, and she was actually able to use Google Home to call my dad, and he was able to come and help her right away, and everything's fine. But I think that, again, that was just such a great reminder about, how technology really has the power to remove these barriers and really help people live more independently.
And you don't, as you mentioned, you don't have to have a disability. It can be something as simple as, I'm tired, I'm sitting on the sofa, I don't want to get up to hit the light switch. You can do it with your voice.
Yes, I mean, actually, you had mentioned, there's more than 1 billion people in the world with a disability, but that number really doesn't account for also temporary disabilities. My dad actually fell off a ladder just 2 weeks ago, and now he has a broken ankle, and he's in a boot for 8 weeks. And he just told me the other day about all the great things that he's starting to realize what Google Home can do for him in different situations. So absolutely.
What are some of the other features that Google offers that folks may not be so much aware of?
Yeah, I think it'd be really great to talk about some of the new features we've also launched, which is voice access. And this is something that was targeted specifically for people who have motor or mobility impairments. And, there's more, I know I'm throwing a lot of numbers out here, but there are more than 60 million people in the U.S. alone who have a motor or mobility impairment. And, most of us have our mobile phones. We use them for so many different reasons today. And but for someone who maybe has an impairment to the arm or hand, it can actually be quite difficult. So with voice access, you can now completely navigate and use your phone hands-free just by using your voice. So you can send an email, you can compose a text, you can take the beloved selfies we all love. And again, I think this was something that we're really excited to be able to use technology to break down that barrier.
And this is on your newest phones and others as well?
Yes, so Voice Access is an app right within Android, and you just download it as any other app. It's really great, really easy.
And all of this is really important, obviously, to a lot of people. I guess the figure is over 1 billion people globally
Yep.
that have disabilities of one kind or another.
Absolutely. Yep. So about 15 to 20% of the world's population has some form of disability, which is just over 1 billion. And again, that is not including temporary impairments, like my dad, for example, or the aging population. We're all going to be aging at one point or another. So really, I think that just shows the impact and how this really affects everyone at one point or another in their lives.
And you're building features into other products like YouTube and Maps as well that can be helpful.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, Maps was one really exciting one that came this year. And again, we're really starting to think about how do we also help within the physical world and not just the virtual world. And this was a really great example of that. For example, I'm going to go back to my mom here, but she, using a wheelchair, she often needs to know whether or not a new restaurant has accessible parking or accessible entrance or, bathroom. And so this was a really, really cool project that we did. Over 7 million community members actually helped to give us this information. We got over 51 million answers just from 7 million people, and we were able to now display over 12 million business information within Maps. So now if you look up a business, you can actually go into their information and check whether or not they have accessible entrance or bathroom or parking. And this is really just the start. So I think another great example when I talk about navigating the physical world is an app that we recently announced at Google I/O, which is our large developer conference every year, and it's coming soon. And if you are blind or low vision, I'm going to throw another number out there, 250 million people in the world are blind or low vision. This is really helping to navigate and interact with the physical world. So you would actually wear it on a lanyard or maybe in a t-shirt pocket, and as you walk around, it'll give you auditory cues as to what's around you. So if you're in a work situation, for example, maybe it'll say printer at noon or printer at 12 o'clock, or it'll say scissors at 3 o'clock. But also if you're just at home and you need to know the expiration date on your milk, you can also get your expiration date on your milk using the app. So again, this is just a really exciting and hard problem to solve, considering the physical world changes so often, but we're really just scratching the surface here.
I know people can Google it, so to speak, but is there a central location that has a lot of this information available?
Absolutely. If you just go to google.com/accessibility, that is our site, and we have all the information you would need there.
Terrific, Kyndra. Our best wishes to your parents. We hope they don't experience any more falls.
I know.
and good luck to the team there with all that you're doing.
Appreciate it. Have a great day.
Now this. How many companies out there have continued to innovate when it comes to building a better radio? I'm Fred Fishkin, host of Techstination, and I'm here to tell you about the new CC Skywave SSB radio from the wonderful people at C. Crane. Bob and his crew really love radio, and it shows in this new compact model that is packed with features. Beyond great AM and FM reception and sound, you can tune into shortwave signals from around the world, listen to ham radio operators, aviation, and more. It's the radio you'll turn to every day, and in emergencies. It will run for nearly 3 days on just 2 AA batteries. Pair the sleep timer with the new Soft Speaker 3, and you've got the perfect radio for your nightstand. Of course, it can wake you up too. Click on C. Crane at Techstination.com and put in the code Techstination for a free flashlight with your order. They love radio, and you'll love C. Crane.